Welcome to Window Dressing, American Trash and National Treasures. This is Tori Spelling, Part 2. Please listen to Part 1 before listening to this episode for background on 90210, Donna Martin, and Tori Spelling. This week I focus on the later years of 90210, specifically Season 5. The days where Donna's storyline becomes the primary storyline, and her hair went from long to short, and her boyfriend changed from David to Griffith to Ray. Ray Pruitt, played by Jamie Walters, epitomizes the unstable, nice guy so many of us have encountered in our dating life. And Donna plays the lost lamb we have all stood next to on the slaughterhouse steps. I know I promised to talk about Donna Martin Graduates and the Season 3 spring prom held at the Bellage Hotel on the Sunset Strip, but I feel like so much has been written about this momentous viewing experience that I wouldn't be adding very much. I might do a Donna Martin Graduates mini-episode. We will just have to wait and see. Or finally, I'll get a Patreon page started for bonus content just like this. A little catch-up on 90210 post-high school starting at the beginning of Season 5. The whole gang is in college now. Kelly and Donna moved into a spectacular beach house together. Initially, David was a roommate too. Being Kelly's stepbrother and Donna's boyfriend, this made sense. But a rift between Donna and David sent him packing, for now. The beach house is located in Redondo Beach, but seems like it's supposed to be Venice or Santa Monica on the show. Jenny Garth and Tori Spelling hosted an episode of their 90210 rewatch podcast, 90210MG, from the location. Apparently, it is an Airbnb now, so you too can visit if you are so inclined. Steve was dating Celeste, played by Jennifer Grant, Diane Cannon, and Cary Grant's daughter. She has Diane's laugh. They broke up in Hawaii, likely because her contract ran out. Dylan lost his family fortune and is drinking again. Brenda is gone, supposedly in London, but we know that in real life, Shannon left the show. Brandon and Kelly are dating, and Donna and David are broken up because David cheated on Donna. This is the cause of the rift I mentioned earlier. Valerie Malone, played by Tiffany Amber Thiessen, joins the cast in Season 5, Episode 1 as the pseudo-Walsh cousin. She is really a friend of the family whose father shot himself recently. What we don't know yet is that he shot himself because Valerie threatened to go to the police. He had been molesting Valerie since she was a small child. Valerie found his body. She later said that, quote, she was happy he was dead, and she only wished he had done it sooner. As you can see, 90210 turns very soapy in the later years. It's a upper echelon version of Melrose Place. All our favorite Beverly Hills teens, now in their 20s, with adult problems that money only seems to make worse. In fact, Melrose and 90210 often share storylines and characters. This makes sense, given the creator and producer are the same, and that Melrose was a spin-off of 90210. But one big thing that Melrose never had was Donna Martin. In the opening of Season 5, Donna remains a virgin. She does later lose her virginity to David, but after she caught David cheating on her and they broke up, Donna started dating a jock named Griffith, played by Casper Van Dien. Before she gets over David, Donna goes on the debutante circuit as a way to distract herself and please her mother. But her friendship with Deshaun Hardell, played by Cress Williams, bothers her mother, who apparently is racist. Donna decides not to be a deb, and that's when she gets involved in campus life and meets her frat guy Griffith. In Season 5, Episode 2, called Under the Influence, Donna meets Ray Pruitt, played by Jamie Walters. He is on campus doing earthquake retrofitting. This is shortly after the Northridge earthquake. He has a hot truck and hard hands. Donna expectedly swoons. Donna and Claire, played by Kathleen Robertson, who is now Donna and Kelly's roommate at the beach house, are filming a himbo sequence for campus television. Donna comes back alone after Ray is finishing up his work to film his sequence. She is wearing a black spaghetti-strapped baby doll floral dress with a sweetheart neckline and flared skirt. Her hair is bleached blonde in a bob and flipped out at the ends. Her eyeshadow is subtle and her brows are pencil thin. She begins her so-called interview of Ray, which consists of Donna asking him a series of questions which she will splice together in a humorous way in editing. Ray catches on to the ruse and says to Donna angrily, "What is this, rich bitch humor?" She is shamed and apologizes immediately. This begins a cycle of shame and regret for Donna, one that a lot of real women know a thing or two about, including Tori Spelling. On a recent episode of Tori Spelling's podcast, Miss Spelling, she had Shannon Doherty on as a guest. It was a 2-part episode called Misbehaviors. During their conversation, Tori says, "I preemptively make myself small for men I am dating." She also talked about her constant apologizing, which, to be fair, all women do, not because we want to, but because if we don't, we have problems. So the issue isn't really about the way we speak or what we say. It's about how women are received more generally. So please, let's stop shaming women for vocal fry. The bulk of Tori and Shannon's discussion was about being single in their 50s, their very early 50s. Tori said that she is scared that she won't be able to find a man who isn't emasculated by her. Shannon says there are men out there that are secure in themselves. Tori admits that she doesn't think that is possible. Shannon says, "That's incredibly depressing." Tori talks a lot about and is totally aware of the fact that her ideas around men and her role as a woman are shaped by the culture she grew up in, the culture most of us grew up in, or some amalgamation of it. It is her experience that men expect her to be small, so she makes herself small. This is not an unusual way to combat an expectation placed on you by the object of your affection, desire, or need. She is not pretending to be our idealistic vision of what she should be. She is reflecting the reality of culture and her experience in it. It is at its very core honest. I feel like Tori is going through a public individuation process right now, one that I'm not only here for, but that I think is exceptionally useful to me and other women. The next important moments between Donna and Ray happen in Season 5, Episode 7, entitled Who's Zooming Who? And no, I don't understand the title. Ray, who Donna has been seeing casually while she is still seeing Griffith, also casually, brings her a giant pumpkin and a very small pumpkin to the beach house. Kelly, wearing a fabulous cream sweater with white tank top, hates Ray for no apparent reason, other than the fact she is always right about people and in many ways is Donna's protector and guide. Donna, wearing a pale pink baby tee that reads baby in the Barbie font and matching barrettes, accepts Ray's odd but cute gift and makes a date with him for later that night. While she is getting ready for her date with Ray, Griffith shows up at Donna's door and pushily sweeps her off her feet, specifically onto a plane he is piloting to Catalina, where he has presumptuously booked them a hotel, without so much as consulting Donna. Donna freaks in true disgusted by Griffith fashion. She demands to leave, tells him he isn't a gentleman, and then somehow, unknown to us, they do leave. Does he fly her home? Does she take the ferry? They don't tell us or show us. When Donna does get home, she arrives at the beach house to find David handcuffed to Claire's bed. This is a different storyline that really isn't important. What is important is that David tells Donna that Ray was there earlier and he seemed really upset that she broke the date. Donna goes outside and sees that Ray smashed the pumpkins he brought to her earlier. Donna races to Ray's family pumpkin patch, which I think, according to 90210MG, is still there under a different name on Ventura in Sherman Oaks. Donna is dressed in her date night best, a little black dress, and she is looking like a lamb headed toward the slaughter in the inky black night of the valley. She runs into Ray, who seems to be the only one there. He scares her and then immediately scolds her for being there alone. She says, "I'm not alone. You're here with me." This is a classic girl trick. Men love it if you make them feel like they have a purpose, especially if that purpose is protecting you. Interestingly enough, it's often the men that we need protection from that like this the most. But who knows? They are all awful from where I'm sitting. Donna apologizes to Ray again, this time for standing him up. She says she would have preferred to be with him. He asks her why she went with some other guy then. She says he wouldn't take no for an answer, meaning Griffith. The sexual innuendo of Griffith's pushiness isn't lost on Ray, and you can visibly see his temper flare. He asks her if he, meaning Griffith, put the moves on Donna. Her response is, "Come on, Ray." He says, "I guess it's none of my business." She continues her apology until he accepts. He says that he can't believe she came all the way down there to apologize to him when he was the one that smashed pumpkins, which he explains by saying, "It's only because I care about you, maybe a little bit too much." Donna says, "I don't think that's possible." He says, "I would never push you to do anything you didn't want to do, Donna. I would never pressure you into anything. I just want to be with you." Ray cinches the deal by playing to Donna, specifically what she said about Griffith being pushy, her general demeanor, and what he doesn't know about her but likely has figured out, her virginity. Donna mistakes his anger for care, which honestly a lot of us do, and his lack of pushiness around sex as genuine love. Here's the thing. When a man doesn't rape you or push you to have sex, that's great. But in and of itself, it doesn't mean he is good or even not a predator. As a person with a temper, I find myself very unconcerned about the smashed pumpkins. But it is really obvious that when Ray doesn't get what he wants, he destroys something. In this case, a gift to her. The worst thing would have been to give the pumpkins to a different woman, but in lieu of that, smashing them is pretty bad, which to me indicates she is next on the list of things to be destroyed by him. But as I said, he comes across to her as being a nice guy because he isn't pressuring her for sex. A lot of women assume that pressure around sex is a bellwether of good or bad character in men. It seems that was as high as the bar ever got in the media of the 1990s, and unfortunately, that had an effect on the men this era of television had a hand in rearing. Donna is just naive, and who could blame her? She is a virgin who has, for the most part, been protected in her life. Regardless of her naivety, all women are taught on some level to be passive and accepting of men and their faults, especially if they are espousing deep love or feeling for you. I don't care who you are or how much you think you know, the likelihood is you have fallen into this trap. I count myself among one of many women who still allows men to mistreat me. I still fall for it, even if I can see it, name it, and feel it on my skin. I have heard I am sadomasochistic, but a trusted source, my best friend, said that's just womanhood, and I would have to agree with her. In the next episode, Season 5, Episode 8, called Things That Go Bang in the Night, The whole gang is celebrating Halloween, putting Mr. Pruitt, Mr. Pumpkinhead, in the spotlight. Donna is painting pumpkins on a tarp at the keg house, preparing for the daytime party for the kids and the nighttime party for the college-aged adults. The whole gang is there, except for Dylan and Valerie. Valerie was caught at Dylan's house by Steve and David at the end of last episode. Steve punched out Dylan, and Val has been marked with the scarlet letter of Beverly Hills ever since. She was supposed to be Steve's steady date, but fell for Dylan as a way of showing her tortured soul compassion. That's not sadomasochism, is it? Say what you will about Valerie, but I have empathy for her. I know she is supposed to be the villain, but she is a little girl lost who is being used by men, so she learned how to use them right back. That sounds less like a villain and more like a hero to me. Griffith asks Donna if she is avoiding him. She says she forgives him for last weekend on Catalina. He basically says, "Prove it," so she kisses him. Steve and Kelly walk up and bring up the Valerie-Dylan drama. Griffith, being the consummate gentleman, says, "The keg curse to anyone who would string along two guys just so she can knife one of them in the back." Donna says, "I'm sure she didn't plan it that way." It may seem self-serving for Donna to take Valerie's side here, but Donna is just a good girl and she doesn't fuck over other women. That's what men do. Griffith says, "Of course she did. What else did she think could happen?" Just then, Ray pulls up in his sexy old red truck, and Steve says, "Hey, that's Pumpkin Guy," putting a fine point on the situation Donna finds herself in with Ray and Griffith. The notion of stringing a guy along is just like the idea that women should feel guilty or in a man's debt about anything ever. I was going to say indebted for dinner or Lonacella tickets, but the truth escaped my lips before my pen could make it to the page. All I have to say is fuck you, Griffith, and your idiotic expectations. I'm starting to see how when a woman, Donna in this case, is choosing between a sexually predatory jock and a nice guy with a temper, how she might end up with the latter. Did I mention Ray has a truck? Donna is dressed like a child temptress, wearing Lolita-esque pigtails with baby blue barrettes and a baby tank with tiny teddy bears on it, trimmed in lace with a bow on top. She attempts to run defense between Griffith and Ray by running out to meet Ray. She is awkward when he tries to kiss her, activating Ray's insecurities about him not being good enough for her sorority sister friends. She denies this accusation, but the whole scene is an awkward mess. Griffith comes out and invites Ray's kid cousin to the party, and Ray, not knowing who Griffith is to Donna, thanks him for being such a normal guy. Griffith's response is something condescending in Latin that honestly was lost on me. The takeaway here is don't ever try to make things even in a romantic relationship out of some desire to feel off the hook for goods and services. Let me be frank, ladies. You never owe men anything, and the suggestion you do is basically a construct to keep you sexually or emotionally available to them. And don't forget, if you are not, they likely have others on the hook that are. Take it from me, do not Venmo your ex in a rage money to cover your half of anything, because he won't only accept the money, but he won't give it back. During the child-friendly daytime Halloween bash, Ray arrives with his cousin and, of course, his guitar. He is the entertainment. Donna is wearing the most ornate Carmen Miranda costume I have ever seen outside of Carmen herself. There are no goldfish in her platforms or cocaine in her headdress, but it comes close in spirit. Kelly is dressed as Glinda the Good Witch in The Wizard of Oz, as personified by Miss Billy Burke. And I don't remember anyone else's costumes. While Ray is singing his instrumental Moody Boy Halloween-themed blues, Griffith kisses Donna on the cheek. Ray sees this from across the room and looks like he is going to murder her. But instead, as soon as he has finished his song, he packs it in and makes a beeline for that hot truck of his. Donna runs after him, calling his name. He ignores her. When she reaches him, she says, "I'm sorry." This is the third time, by the way. She really hasn't done anything wrong. Come to think of it, she hasn't ever done anything that wrong, but nonetheless, he gets off on making her feel small. She says, "It's not what it looked like." He says, "So he's probably your brother, right?" He says this with cutting and cruel sarcasm. You can always tell what's at the heart of a man by the tone they speak to you in. She says, "I told you I sort of had a boyfriend." Which is true, she did tell him that, and at this point, both relationships are hardly label-worthy. She begs him not to leave. She apologizes and asks him to let her explain. Already in his truck, Ray says, "Okay, tonight I'll pick you up." She says, "Ray, I have a party I can't get out of." He yells at her, "Okay, fine. You've got your friends. Go on back to them and have a good time." He starts the car and backs up before she can respond. This little exchange creates a palpable desperation in Donna. She knows she made a mistake by not speaking to Griffith yet about Ray, but at the same time, the mistake is about protecting other people's feelings, not about what is ethically incorrect. When men like Ray get a whiff of someone with empathy, they play on it like a fucking cord. He is going to, and has already, started the pattern of manipulating her care and empathy to his ends. He doesn't take her feelings seriously, doesn't consider her genuine emotion, only what is being done to him, the man. The child within him acts like she is a doll for him to injure as an extension of his self-injuries. Unfortunately, a lot of men see women as an extension of themselves. This is a byproduct of the culture and too much history to name here. It's why the apologies for abuse are so felt and believable. It's the same kind of energy as when a child breaks his toy and is then devastated. But there is a difference between taking a partner into you like they are part of you and treating them as an extension of your ego. Those are not the same things at all. Later in the episode, at the nighttime Halloween party, Donna and Kelly are in the corner. Kelly is dressed as a sexy nurse, and Donna is a sexy cat. Donna is telling Kelly that she hasn't been able to reach Ray all day. Not even his mother knew where he was. Kelly says, "You must really be into this guy." Donna says, "I just wish it hadn't ended with him storming off like that." Kelly changes the subject from Ray to Griffith. Donna says Griffith is expecting sex, and she hasn't told him she is, and plans to remain, a virgin. Then Kelly says one of the worst lines of the entire series. "Donna, you're stringing this guy along." Right, Kel, because Donna owes him her virginity or an explanation as to why it's not easily accessible to him. Fuck off. Griffith walks up to them and doubles the sexism by saying, "They should have outlawed that Valerie chick when they banned assault weapons. She's not showing up pushed Sanders right over the edge." Griffith is basically saying that women are not only responsible for men's mental health, they are akin to a deadly weapon if they fail to coddle daddy. Kelly says, "She should have been honest with him from the beginning." Kelly's not-so-covert message to Donna sparks a conversation between Griffith and Donna once Kelly walks away. Donna starts to tell Griffith about her intention to stay a virgin, but before she can finish, Griffith interrupts her and says, "Who is he?" He says, "Look, You're not Valerie what's-her-name, and I'm not Steve Sanders, so just tell me the truth. First off, Valerie what's-her-name? She doesn't even get the dignity of her full name because she isn't playing her role as a girlfriend properly, so she is a no-named cunt now? This outlook adds up, given what we have witnessed from Griffin and an unnerving amount of men. I have become painfully aware of how deep this expectation of service goes in men and what happens if you fail to coddle them. Donna says, "Well, I went out with Ray Pruitt a couple of times." Griffith says, "We're talking about Mr. Pumpkinhead?" Donna tells Griffith to go to hell and walks out of the party. He follows her and says, "When you tell your mother I wasn't good enough, be sure to tell her you were getting it on with the delivery boy." Ray pulls up in his truck. Griffin gestures towards the truck and says, "What's he do? Throw you down in the back of his pickup?" Donna says, "What makes you think you can talk to me this way?" My guess is it's because some gentlemen are just women haters when they aren't being coddled or fucked. Griffin's response confirms this assumption. He says, "Because you're a pathological tease who sluts around." Donna slaps him. He says, "I can't believe I put up with you for as long as I did." The last line Griffith said is the meanest. Donna is made to feel that her worth is so little that he had to put up with her company. It's one of those moments that lodges in your soul and determines your understanding of your role moving forward. Believe me, I have heard plenty of lines like these in my life, and they become a kind of cage I live in. The message delivered here is we as women don't matter unless we are actively in service of a man, but not just any man, you. Donna did get the last hit in, and I am proud of her. She runs to Ray's truck, hops in, and says one of the most romantic things possible to Ray. "Please just drive." I could have done without the please, but virtue is kind of Donna's power source, so it's appropriate here. The two end up on Mulholland, sitting on the bed of his truck. She tells him she is a virgin, and he says, "Look, Donna, I came back tonight because all that mattered was seeing you again, and that's still all that matters." Pretty solid wooing. But he does end up cheating on her, and what's worse is he somehow acts like the victim in that too. The emotional abuse flags were there from the get, but when he fucks Valerie, he plays it like she is some poison pill femme fatale. Granted, she does blackmail him, but I tend to see Val's point of view in this scenario more than most. Ray's behavior of man-child who cheats and then can't handle the consequences and guilt associated with his actions is a lot like Tori's real-life, cheating, soon-to-be ex-husband, Dean McDermott. He had an affair a decade ago, and she just filed for divorce last month. She attempted to stay and work things out with him, some of which made it on to her reality TV show True Tori's second season in 2014. Before you react to the fact that she went through couples counseling on TV, please remember that Tori has a large family and was the primary breadwinner for this family. Still is, actually. She grew up on TV, so it would make sense that she would be comfortable with that as a career choice. On the second season, while the couple are in counseling, you see how much he makes his actions her responsibility. He has a mental break at some point, and then she just isn't allowed to bring it up for fear he will freak out. He never physically abused her, but he did emotionally torment her, and from what I can tell, he isn't even really a narcissist or a monster, just a child. To be specific, a man-child. Tori, for her part, was just playing her role, the role she was taught by everything around her to play. Tori is about 10 years older than me. Technically a different generation, but by no means is her experience of the outer culture that different than mine. I learned the same things she did. I struggle internally the same way she does. One of the most compelling parts of the reality TV she has done, and her podcast to some extent too, is her openness. On True Tori, she would routinely get ill around emotionally taxing events. Her friend on the show accuses her of making herself sick. It wasn't intended to be cruel and sexist, but at the same time, I can't think of a more malicious comment than that. I don't think Tori made herself ill. I think she has trauma and is expected to do everything, and when something tips the scales, she falls. I want to point out to all of you out there who are screaming psychosomatic illness at her that she also had a boob job that needed to be redone. I don't think we give enough consideration to the devastating effects that things like silicone implants, filler, and other procedures can have on our bodies over time, and what trying to live up to other people's expectations of us does to our soul, as evidenced in the dynamics between what a woman is and what she is supposed to be. I will be back next time for Tori Spelling Part 3, which will be the wrap-up of Tori and Ray's relationship. Thank you for listening to Window Dressing, American Trash, and National Treasures. Please like and subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen, and follow the podcast's Instagram page for more content at Window Dressing Podcast. I'm Madeline Jane Auble.